The students started lining up last night for the biggest basketball game in Pullman in almost a quarter century. That's right, it'll be a sold-out house at Friel Court as Washington visits Washington State. The excitement for Cougar basketball at a high. It's the Apple Cup of basketball coming up. Well, welcome to Pullman, and jump along with us. Join the bouncing crowd. Look at the students on the bottom of your picture. This place is filled for the first time. They've taken the tarps off the upper sections. Over 3,000 students here to watch the Cougars and the Huskies on the basketball court for the first time this year.
And they're doing a great job of penetration. And you see Weaver that time taking it to the goal, and you've got a couple of threes already by Derek Lowe. And they're trying to play with freshmen, with redshirt freshmen, a couple of sophomores. Makes you realize just how good Brandon Roy was.
Oh yeah, oh sure.
And Bobby Jones.
And they had, certainly Washington had a high pick.
There's Taylor Rochestie off the bench. The backup point, and Rochestie drills a three to put the Cougars up 8. Lorenzo Romar said this morning, I hope our team knows how much urgency they need to play with. That was Rochestie off the bench hitting it. Danny, if you're Tony Bennett right now, you're sitting there thinking, all right, I've got Derek Lowe on the bench and Ivory Clark on the bench, and we're extending the lead. That would make you feel good.
Yeah, Rochestie's doing a good job, and why not? You can rest Lowe a little bit, and you've got guys that like Cowgill. I mean, he's a terrific offensive rebounder. He's developed his outside game. He's out of Austin, Texas. He's a guy that's put on some weight. Tony is sitting, relaxing, doing a great job of coaching, and I know really enjoying this year, and he should. You got to enjoy the journey.
Well, Pravica going in with the left hand, and are they going to score that?
I think they are going to score. Lorenzo Romar saying
that he's not going to give it a go.
Yeah, that's my sense right now. As Spencer, I thought in warm-ups, Lorenzo Romar wasn't sure, that he could go or not, and if he hasn't played at this point, I doubt whether he'll come in the game.
We're done.
Long year. Got to get Spencer ready, so he needs a little bit of rest. Pretty good pressure there by Dent. Nice job to pressure the ball and force that turnover. Timeout. So certainly on this timeout, really important for the Huskies with the ball to come out and be proactive. And let's get a good trend, a good situation, come down and try to get a score.
Well, this last 4-minute surge, a big one for Washington State. And the Cougars on their home court have raced out to a 13-point lead. Fouls on each team now in the half. It's the first personal on Weaver. Taylor Rochestie, the sophomore guard, Santa Barbara, California, is winning, as so often is the case, Dan, to make a difference, winning the recruiting battles in this state, which produces so many great basketball players.
Well, the golden rule about recruiting, Ted, you always try to get the best guy in your area. If you can do that, you're normally going to have a very good program.
The Cougars, only won 4 conference games. They were 4-14 last year. The win here today would put them at 5-2. With virtually the same team.
Yeah, and remember, Ted, a year ago beat Washington twice, as you said earlier. So, but that's a big point. With virtually the same team. So this is a team that's matured and grown together. They've added a few guys, but now they're healthy. And they've got everybody playing on the same page. That's a quality shot. Just didn't get it in.
Aaron Baines cleared it. Rochestie.
Well, Rochestie just doesn't look like he's going to miss any open shots. Made a 3 in the first half when he came in. He's a guy from SoCal, but he's transferred from Tulane.
Now the big ad was the return of David Harmeling this year for Washington State. He missed all last year due to injury. Denton inside. And again, there's not much easy against the Cougar defense, although Brockman with a beautiful reverse.
Did a great job not to travel. I thought he might just take an extra step, and I know he was worried about it, but he's a power player inside. Nice effort that time.
Well, that follows on your theme, Dan, about getting the best players in your state. Lorenzo Romar did it 2 years ago, getting Brockman, and this past year getting Hawes.
Well, he even signed Martell Webster, who elected to go right to the NBA, but he did have to sign.
Rochestie.
He's impressive.
He's only averaging 2 points a game. He's got 7 today.
And you know the nice thing about Rochester, he can play the point. It moves low away from the basket, and Derek doesn't have to worry about bringing the ball up, and it keeps him stronger and fresher.
Dexter.
No, Ted, my theory on the Cougars, and I think a lot of people are still not believers. See, I think the way they play will bode well for them in the NCAA tournament. I think they will get there. And you know, when you get in the tournament, if you don't play defense and you cannot control tempo, you might have a problem winning games. And I think this team can do both.
I agree.
And they can play in the open. And they can play in the open court. So I think it's I tell you don't want to play them. I think it's a team that can go deep in the NCAA tournament.
And for Washington State, I mean, just look at where they are. Their RPI, as of yesterday, we said was 23. I mean, they're right there. And if you're Tony Bennett, you don't want to start thinking this way, but you can't, I'm sure, help it at some point. If you just protect your home court, you're going to be in the tournament.
Yeah, I think they're 15-3. And they've got RPI is high.
Counting today, they have 7 home games left.
I mean, they would have to just have a monumental collapse, and I don't see that happening.
And so what that means is Washington State has not played in the NCAA since 93-94 when Kelvin Sampson was the coach. They haven't played a postseason game at all since 96.
Well, get ready.
And I'm saying, I mean, that's what the Bennetts, and we've got to say the Bennetts, Father Dick and now son Tony, have done to turn this program around.
I mean, they've done this all year, and that's why they can go on the road and be effective.
Although, again, to fully illustrate that, it's also a Washington team without Spencer Hawes today. Look at those. Look at that Thursday night doubleheader. You've got UCLA, which I think is fairly secure. And then you've got, as Weaver hits a 2, you've got 3 teams. One of the things we all love about college sports is that not all games are the same. Some games just mean a lot more. And for everybody here, look at the sea of red today because they know it's the rivalry game. And last year, despite the fact that it was a great year for Washington, a down year for the Cougs, Dan, the Cougs won both of these games.
Yeah, the Cougs did win both games. It surprised everybody, but almost the same cast for Washington State last year and this year, but they got 2 wins. You see the 78-71 win in Seattle, and certainly a devastating loss for the Huskies. I mean, they had an unbelievable year last year, a Sweet 16, and how about in Pullman? I mean, they kind of double-dipped them, and you didn't really expect that at all.
Brandon Roy, Aaron Baines, the Aussie big man for the Cougars, had the game of his life. He had 13 points and 12 rebounds in the second half here last year in Pullman. And the Cougs have won only 4 league games last year. 2 of them were over the Husky team that went to the Sweet 16. Well, the Cougs are on their way to making it 3 in a row. And on their way to dropping the Huskies to an unimaginable 1-6 in the conference. Algill will get to the line. And, you know, I can't help, Dan, but look at this difference here. We talk about this Washington State team, which has no standout, jump off the page, leaping out at you, McDonald's All-American type players, but they've been together, and they will lose off this team. Basically, only Ivory Clark. They'll almost all be back next year against this Washington team that's loaded with highly recruited guys. I mean, highly sought-after players. Most notably, a Spencer Hawes, who's a pretty open conversation up here, is destined to be a 1-year player at Washington.
Well, I don't think you can overemphasize it and how important it is, Ted, to have guys in the program for 3 years all playing together. Right. You see that with Wisconsin this year. You know, Wisconsin won again today. I mean, they've won, I think, longest winning streak in the country. I think it's their 15th consecutive win. But who are they playing with? They're playing with 21, 22-year-olds, guys that have been around for a long time. And, you know, they have an outstanding program. And Bo Ryan, obviously, is a great coach. But it means a lot to keep guys together.
I mean, at some point, you have to have talent. We all understand that. But there's something to be said for watching a group of players gel and together achieve a result that the individual skills may not suggest. Rochester. Boys, he had a nice little effort. 9 points off the bench.
Yeah, to my recollection, he hasn't missed a shot. I'd say that's effective. Good job. Boy, they do a great job on that screen and roll. You see Harmeling coming out. They double up the post.